Hey football fans, I'm Alex and welcome back to This Week in Football. Saying this week was a fascinating week in football is a big understatement. Michigan beats Ohio State, meaning that Ohio State might be out of the college football playoffs. Alabama narrowly beats Auburn. There's a change in coaches in the Big 12 and the SEC. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to be without Coach McCarthy for Thursday night's game against the New Orleans Saints. Let's start with Michigan. The Wolverines defeat Ohio State 42-27. It started out as a close game for the first half. However, the second half is where the Wolverines were outscoring the Buckeyes. Hassan Haskins, the running back from Michigan, rushed for 5 touchdowns and 169 yards, 5 touchdowns becoming a school record. Ohio State had won 15 of the last 16 games versus Michigan, and they had a 26-game win streak against the Big Ten teams, aka their conference rivals. Michigan will now play Iowa in the Big Ten Championship. This win is a chance for Michigan to not only make the college football playoffs, but it will also prove to Michigan that Jim Harbaugh is the coach for the Wolverines. Now let's talk about the college football playoff standings. The current standings have Georgia at number 1. Michigan right now with their win against Ohio State moves them up to number 2. The University of Alabama is ranked number 3 thanks to their close win at Auburn. And the University of Cincinnati right now ranks at number 4. They're one of 2 teams that are undefeated right now in the country. Now, these numbers can change, especially for Alabama. Alabama faces Georgia for the first time this season. If they beat Georgia, Bama's ticket into the playoffs is punched. However, if Georgia prevails and dominates Alabama, Alabama could lose their spot, depending on how many points Georgia beats them by, and if Oklahoma State scores enough points in the Big 12 championship to get them into the top 4. But let's not forget Cincinnati. Cincinnati will be facing the University of Houston in the American Championship. And if Houston is able to upset Cincinnati, that could affect their playoff rankings as well. Now for the biggest news in college football, which is Lincoln Riley, the former head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, left to join the University of Southern California in the Pac-12. This is a major change for Oklahoma as Riley has helped Oklahoma reach the playoffs, and he was the head coach for 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. With Oklahoma hoping to go into the SEC, they're going to need to find a new head coach that can not only help build the players and the recruiting in Oklahoma, but also help them compete in the SEC. The next major head coach who is leaving their program is Brian Kelly of Notre Dame. Brian Kelly is going to be joining LSU as their head coach, replacing Ed Orgeron, who in the 4 years with LSU had created a 50-20 record and a national championship. Kelly, as the head coach for Notre Dame, led the Fighting Irish to a national championship appearance during Manti Te'o's final season with Notre Dame. They also reached the college football playoffs last year, where they would lose to Nick Saban and Najee Harris. The biggest question for everyone is, can Brian Kelly lead the LSU Tigers into the college football playoffs? Can they win a national championship? And can they beat Nick Saban? Only time and recruiting can tell. Now let's transition to the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is out for the game against the Saints because he has tested positive for COVID-19. Fortunately, though, the Cowboys team can run by itself because you have Kellen Moore as your offensive coordinator. Dan Quinn right now is doing a terrific job with his defense and being able to build it, especially around Micah Parsons. And let's not forget that Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence are going to be coming back for the game against the Saints. Amari Cooper, there's a little bit of a scare because he had tested positive for COVID last week and he missed 2 games, the Sunday game against the Chiefs and the Thanksgiving game against the Raiders. As of today, he has been activated from the COVID list and he will be eligible to play against the Saints on Thursday Night Football. Now, for Zeke Elliott, there is some worrisome about his injury. He had a small knee injury in the game against the Raiders. However, Jerry Jones is confirming that Zeke will play against the New Orleans Saints. A win for the Dallas Cowboys here could definitely help them build some momentum going into the final weeks of the season. All right, guys, before I go, I just wanted to give a shout out to the North Texas Mean Green, my alma mater, for defeating the number 22 UT San Antonio in spectacular fashion. North Texas started the season 1-6 before winning 5 in a row to make themselves bowl eligible for the 5th time in 6 years since Seth Luttrell had been the head coach for the Mean Green. So, will Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly succeed in their new programs? Can Dallas return the form with a win? And just out of curiosity, who can succeed Nick Saban when he retires in, let's say, 1,000 years maybe? We don't know. We don't even know if he's ever going to retire. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.